Let's get into it. 1, 2, 3. Let's get some more. Clap your hands. Some more. Let's get some more.
Why, hello, and welcome to My Whiskey Den, your favorite public access whiskey review show where craft whiskey is king. And I'd like to say that's true tonight, but it is just a goddamn lie because we were dipping into rum. We've been trying all sorts of other stuff before the holidays hit because, you know, it's good to mix things up. You don't have to have just whiskey over the holidays. You can throw some other stuff in. So we brought at least 6 we're going to try tonight, maybe more. We'll see what happens. But thank you, everyone, for stopping in and being on time. I see Oscar. I see Ice House. I see Renita. I see Fred. Hey, Fred's out there. Good to see you. And everyone else who's on time, we appreciate it. Mike and Ben, what are you guys having in your glass? And what are the people in the chat drinking in yours?
I haven't poured my rum yet.
What?
Yeah, I haven't either. I'm waiting to see what we're going to start comparing or going for first. Now, I have been sipping some bourbons before we got started. I had some Chattanooga 111.
Yeah. I had a little bourbon, too.
Yeah.
That's a review that's coming up, and I feel like we're going to be split, but that's okay.
I had a little Starlight early on, our Starlight single barrel pick.
Ooh.
Nice.
Oh, an Oscar in the chat. I just see he put that up there. He was sneaking the Havana Club 7-year-old.
Nice.
That's solid.
As I said, there's a couple of those that are actually pretty nice.
I've actually got a sample of that sitting right in front of me right now.
All right. Well, then I think we should let's start with Hilton Head, because I know a little bit about Privateer, but I don't know anything about Hilton Head.
Yeah.
But really, we're just here to drink some rum and tell you what we think.
Sure. The Distillers collection?
Yeah, sure. We can start with that one.
Okay. Yeah, that's probably, yeah.
Wait.
Which one?
Is it 2 Traditions or is it the New World?
The New World Rum. Start with that one.
The New World. Okay.
New World Rum. New World.
I like that, Spence. We'll see what I can do here.
Ooh.
There we go, Spence. I think that covers it. And on this one, it says it's a New World Aged Rum, batch 5, 2 years and 4 months, aged with heavy oak staves.
That's right. Heavy toasted oak staves.
Huh.
So this one's distilled here in Hilton Head in South Carolina. And yeah, they're aging this one with, they're using some what they call modern cooperage barrels, and then putting in heavy toasted staves, oak staves into those. I think it's got I got to taste this one. They had a distillery room open for a number of years here in Greenville, South Carolina. And they're one of the places that bit the dust over the whole COVID situation. So the main distillery in Hilton Head is still open, but the Dark Corner distillery that was here in Greenville, that shut down. But I got to sample this there, and I just thought it had a really interesting profile. It's got a little bit of youth to it, but the oak is interesting in the way it plays around. So see what you guys think on this.
Wow. Okay.
It's a little malty.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I was getting that too.
Got that malty kind of funk going on.
And
I would guess this as a rum.
At midway to the end, it has this light, like a little light mint note, or it's more fresh. It'd be like a crushed mint rather than just like a mint, but like a crushed mint.
I get a little hint of banana in there as well.
Definitely. A little bit of brown sugar. But definitely not, it's not as sugary sweet or anything that I would have picked from a rum or would have expected from a rum in this instance. So that's
there's a sweetness to it, but it's very tropical and refreshing.
Yep. A little hint of sponge cake in there for me.
Yeah, I get the cakey.
There's a different fruit, but I can't peg it. It's not like mango or anything like that, but it's a fruit that I can tell I don't normally have.
More like papaya, maybe?
Kinda, yeah. Because it's like sweeter and has a little different flavor than like the pear on the nose, but it's definitely in there. All right.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
Okay, we're just here to drink tonight, so out in the hatch. Ooh. Okay, I get the peppery finish. It's kind of like a spiced rum, but like I don't know if I would have pegged this as a rum. Tasting it right away, there's some very similar notes to like some whiskey, some Highland, a little bit even corn sweetness in it. It's
very cool.
Yeah.
Like when I first drink it, it's just very okay. I mean, I could get in a lot of trouble with this.
It's easy. It's really easy. And it's not your typical Jamaican or Caribbean style of rum that you normally think of.
Yeah. It has like spearmint and like a little bit of leather in it for me.
Would not hold up to a rum and coke, I don't think.
It still might be better than some other things in it, though.
It would it might sweeten the coke up a little bit, but I just wouldn't. Yeah. There's a reason you'd buy the Captain.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, this one's a little bit more subtle on the palate. The thing that leaps out to me still is the oak, the char and the staves. I think that's kind of one of the dominant notes, and you get a little bit of a caramel, a little bit of a molasses sweetness underlying that, and then you get some of those fruits like the banana, the papaya.
Okay, the front half, I was getting almost like an agave feel on like the very first front half on the front of the tongue, like the first third. I don't want to call it like quite tequila, but it's got a little agave like viscous feel to it, or similar to it.
Going back on the nose after having it, I get the Balcones Texas funk.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it is. It's very interesting. I like that. Hello, Josh.
Hey, Josh.
Hello there.
Mr. Patrick Cohn, good to see you. Hop in here as well, too. Speaking of people who have all of Texas whiskeys, Patrick Cohn popped in at just the right time.
That'd be your expert palate on Texas whiskey right there.
I don't know. I'm intrigued by this, but like I said, I don't know if I would have pegged it as rum. Like it does almost seem like a hybrid. Like flavor wise, those heavy oak staves I think really did play a decent kind of effect on it. And I don't know enough, and that's because we're not a rum channel, but we will find this out. What's the difference between New World Rum and Old World Rum? It is, because I don't know off the top of my head. We'll have someone on that explains it.
Yeah, and for me, I think you can taste the youthfulness. This is a 2-year-old rum versus a 7 or 10 or 20 or whatever. Just doesn't have that depth that you get from the time in the barrels. So the wood tastes a little bit youthful, not in a green wood kind of way, but it just doesn't have the depth of the vanillas and all those cinnamon and sugars that you typically pull out of that oak. So,
and I think that's what's missing from the second half of it for me. Like if it had more of that, I think it would really solidify it. Kind of like that one Havana Club that we had reviewed, Mike, where it had just that fruit and then like the barrel note and everything else going on. This is nice, but I think this is missing like 1 or 2 notes for me overall.
Yeah. It's simple. I think this would be an interesting one for somebody who's either into single malts or they're into bourbon. This might be a good kind of transitional to, hey, try this rum, see what you think.
Yeah, if somebody says, I don't like rum because they had a bad experience,
Right.
this is, yeah. But I do think, I mean, do you get a little bit on the nose there? Like if somebody said, oh, try this. This is Balcones' rum. I would believe you.
Yeah.
There's just that little bit of dusty funk.
That is there, but for me, I don't think it's as turned up as I would be expecting, but it is hiding in there.
Yeah.
There's an oak note that I get off this that actually reminds me of brimstone. Like it's a particular little note that I pull off of brimstone. So I definitely see what you're talking about with the Balcones thing there.
I like it.
All right. That's fair. I don't mind that one. Ooh, do I have water? Yeah. I was doing some tasting for whiskeys of the year today, and that's actually American single malt, and I'm practicing washing out my palate because when you're going between 8 or 9 whiskeys and coming back and forth, you need to clear it up a little bit. So, staying with the Hilton head, let's move over to the Two Traditions Rum. What do you know about this one? Because what I see on my bottle looks pretty interesting, Ben.
Yeah, this one is actually pretty neat. And it was talking to the guys at the distillery. They created this one specifically for bourbon drinkers. They wanted this style of rum to appeal to bourbon drinkers. So you've got rum made here in South Carolina. It's their same rum, and it's barrel aged in port wine casks via a Solera aging method.
That's what I was looking on here. I was like, port casks in a Solera system. Even if your port cask was like on level 2 or 3 and not on the bottom, I think that would be a really cool experiment. So I'm intrigued by this one here. Okay.
Yeah, this is in a whole different ballpark.
Yeah, this one is. Yeah. See, it's not just light. It's got a little bit in there, but you know what? It is sweet on the nose, sweet enough.
You're diabetes.
Yeah, I think it's sniffing in on some. I mean, it's just on the nose. It's smelling really
buttery vanilla. It's like intense sugar cookie dough.
That is exactly right. The buttery vanilla is damn right.
Yep.
Light caramel mixed in.
Oh, wow.
And then I'm getting the barrel at the very end.
This is dessert.
Yep.
And then now finally I'm getting some of those port notes on like the second or third inhale here.
Yeah. I get it in passing, not when I stick my nose straight in there, but I pass it. Just little whiffs of it.
I get more.
Wow.
The port for me comes across as some of that, typically with a lot of port, sometimes you get that kind of basement funk coming out of it, the old wood funk. That's what I get out of this right off the top is that port funkiness to it. And hello, Ed.
Yep. Good to see you, Ed. Thanks for stopping in.
Holy crap.
Yeah, and it doesn't smell like it's going to be that layered like right away, but once you get in there, you can really pull through some of the shit. Holy crap. Wow. I don't know. This one's got it's so sweet.
Take a sip.
Whoa. It's not a lot of flavor, and then like 2/3 of the way through it like blows up for a second. It's like
It
like
is
things happen real quick.
Good God.
You feel like someone took a stick of butter and swiped it around the inside of your mouth?
It does. It does. You feel like a fat kid on a farm, man. Just eating like a candy bar.
Here's your deep fried stick of butter.
Oh, yeah. State fair time, boys.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
This wow.
That is, yeah, that's just like butter and vanilla
Yeah.
with a little bit of oak and dark fruit going on there.
It's almost obscene. It really
And
is.
yeah,
I mean,
just
it's
a hint of spice. Just
Yeah.
like a hint of spice. Like not even very much of that at all, but just a little bit. I can see how they would think this would be like a bourbon drinker's rum.
Mm-hmm.
And, oh, finally, I'm getting like a little. The barrel note is on the outside edges of my tongue right now. Like that's finally where it is sticking around. Even it is almost like you. I feel like I have to pull off like a butter with one of those scrapers, like those tongue scrapers. Like I can pull off a coated layer.
I need something good and carbonated to kind of flush the palate here.
Cut through there.
Cut through it, yep. But both of these are coming in at 80 proof for those keeping score out in the audience.
That's the only thing I think that most rums you find are typically 40.
Right.
I mean, it's hard to find something even at 45.
Can you imagine that second one at a higher proof?
He's bring it up 10 points.
Oh my god!
Could you imagine it at 50%?
Oh yeah, it would.
That might be just straight diabetes right there. I mean, it might be a good thing they did cut it down, to where it is, because the flavor intensity would be fantastic. But at the same time, I'm thinking you usually start ratcheting up that sweetness factor too as you go up in proof or something like that.
Mm-mm.
I
wouldn't want to do that. This is just sweet enough. Like it gets like a honey sweet tart. It sounds weird, but it's like it has a little sweet tart, like sugar feel to it, but it's like just like a honey glaze over stuff too.
I wouldn't slight salinity on the sides of my mouth as well as it starts in the finish.
Oh, let's see here. Oh, we do have a little question here. Eli was saying, what would you recommend for an entry level rum? I've only had a few, but none of them have gotten really my attention. Rum is unique because a lot of inexpensive rums land in the $20 to $30 range. And when you bump up, you're usually in like the 40 to 60. So a lot of times rums aren't horribly priced compared to whiskey. But one I found that is probably in the 2022 range is this one right here. I'm going to try it later. Is a Zaya 12-year-old. It's a blended rum, and it's really nice compared to what everyone else from having a little Captain in you and some other things. It's a nice rum that is very reasonably priced. Like you can mix it with things and it doesn't kill you. I don't know. That's the one I know that I would recommend. Plantation Rum is another good one. Any other ones that you guys would recommend as kind of like an entry level rum?
I'd have to say a number of years ago, back when people could travel, went to Puerto Rico and did the Bacardi tour, or as they kept calling it, Bacardi, and it was a novelty thing. But I found out after trying the Bacardi 8, I liked rum, and I thought that was a pretty good entry. It was not a high proof, pretty inexpensive. I've never bought a bottle. I had it there. I really like it. I drank it while I was there. I've had it since I've been back, but I've never bought a bottle. But as I put in the chat, we've all had some Privateer. I think Privateer is a really good bourbon drinker's rum. Because it's just done a certain way. And I've got another one that I will have later that I got a pick of Rolling Fork that, it is.
Yeah.
Notice he didn't put the samples of that.
There'll be samples when we all meet at that disclosed location.
Oh, okay.
To hand out samples because that's the legal way to do it.
Right.
Yeah. No, that Rolling Fork though, that's that, and the one Privateer that I have right now, the Distillers drawer Yankee Flyer. You don't think it's rum. It's and it's dangerous at high proof, and it's dangerous. It's delicious.
I'll throw this out there, Eli, because I know you personally. I know kind of where your palate's at and your experience. I think it can be difficult for somebody who's really experienced into scotches and bourbons and other good whiskeys to transition into rum because it's kind of like stepping down or stepping back. Rum typically lacks a lot of the complexity that you enjoy out of a good whiskey. It's typically fairly simple, but there's some good notes, and you can get into some good stuff that you really enjoy. And trying to track down rums that have that complexity to it a little bit more difficult. But for me, I think Kirk and Sweeney is a great one. They've got a 12, 18, and a 23-year-old that are all really reasonably priced. Even the 23-year-old you can get into for under $50, and they offer some really nice deep notes to them. The Bacardi 8, I think, like you said, Mike, is a good one to jump into. Diplomatico is another one that's usually in about that $30 range that offers some really good flavors to it. But for me, hands down so far, the few privateer rums that I've explored so far, every single one of them are just absolutely unreal. There's a lot more flavor and character going on than what I typically experience in a Caribbean rum. So,
So, and on that note, I think I'm going to finish this up, and maybe we should switch over to a privateer rum because we do have a couple of these. So let me finish this real quick.
Just a couple.
Well, you got to have an actual drink. You can't just have a sip. That's not fair.
It's 3 ounces, or you're not doing it right.
It's 2 if we're doing whiskey reviews.
Yeah, I did. You'd mentioned it, Kirk and Sweeney. I forgot about that because I've had the Kirk and Sweeney 12 a few times, and I did like that. I'm just not. I didn't really get into a lot of rums. I'm also afraid to because I know if I do, I know what's going to happen. It's going to be this. It's going to be a lot of rum, and I don't need to be doing that.
Back in the summer, I found one of my favorite after a hard day at work, come home, 2 shots of rum over an ice ball with a squeeze of lemon or a squeeze of lime. And sit back and relax, and that can get dangerous.
And Patrick Cohn brought other people were bringing them up. He's just bringing up Foursquare and Plantation. Ron Zapaka, and like the Zapaka 23 is only like $40 or something. Or so it's not crazy. So I mean, like some of those, you can actually try some stuff that's been really getting some nice, I want to say, age on it for a rum, and it's not crazy priced. So that's the nice part. But if you really want some good answers to stuff like that, head over to DJ 11's channel. He talks a lot about rum. He would probably be the guy I would talk to if I was going to ask real questions about some of the stuff going on. He does whiskey reviews too, but he started doing rum, and he had me wanting to spend like $200-300 on a weekend and on rum instead of whiskey. So he has found some really nice ones hidden in there. But we were talking about privateer rum. And which one are we going to? Are we going to the Yankee Flyer or the Distillers Drawer?
The Sea Smoke?
The Sea Smoke? Okay, we'll go Sea Smoke. Now, I really, really like privateer rum mainly, and I found them because of Maggie Campbell. When I wanted to learn a little bit about rum, she was one of the people that I had. She has like a little Instagram show, I think every Thursday night, and maybe more than that. Before it was like Thursdays at 4:30 for an hour, and I sat in on 2 of those. And like when we say a couple of people like sitting down with Alan Bishop and some people, you're getting a lesson, like you're getting a college-sized lesson from somebody, and they're doing it in a really nice, friendly way, trying to get you to keep up. Because man, at one afternoon she started breaking down into what type of sugars, backstrap, and how this and that, and grade A versus B, and all sorts of stuff. And I was like, oop, I'm in over my head, but I want to stick around and listen. Like if I'm going to pick up how this really works, this is the type of person you want to listen to and have explain it to you, because you're really getting an extra level of knowledge that other people aren't going to kind of put on you right away. You might get kind of fluffed over. She's going to get into the nuts and bolts of what's going on, and you're going to come away feeling like you got help, like I said, like a little college lesson on the weekend or something. Like you have these 3 classes on Saturday through all of January, and you get leveled up in rum, and that's kind of exactly what it feels like when you're with her. So I'm going to say it. Check those things out. Check her out, because it is she is a wealth of knowledge and willing to share all of it, and that doesn't always happen.
No.
So definitely do that. Now we'll get back over to some of the rums she is creating, which they have already kind of fawned over. Does someone want to tell us about the Smoke and Sea #2 here a little bit? If you got them, who has the bottle? Show the pretty bottle.
Right here. Pretty. Ooh, pretty.
Pretty and well loved.
Yeah, it is well loved. And I'm being very careful with it because it's a single barrel release. And so this is the only bottle I got, and it's all sold out. And they usually sell out quickly. They do their standard rums, and then they have what they call their Distillers drawer, which is kind of like these special release rums that they do where they have special finishing, or they pulled a particular barrel that showed some remarkable character that their standard rums do not. But this one was pulled, and then it was put into a Lefroy. I believe it's Lefroy quarter cask. Don't hold me to it, but I'm pretty sure it was Lefroy cask. They put this in, and let me just check and see if they've got how long. I'm sure I can go to the website. They actually keep a tab on all these special release bottles, and you can go look up your bottle and pull all the details on it. But yeah, it was put into a Lefroy cask to finish, and it's just, if you're an Isla lover, this is a thing of beauty right here.
Yeah.
You can smell it on the nose. It has this like Talisker sea note to it that I'm getting off it.
You're drinking rum on the ship.
Yeah.
Yes.
The first time I saw Privateer, and they talk about the distiller's drawer, and she said that was the term that was used by the distillers because the rums were always blended, but they would find their honey barrel and they would rat hole it away in their drawers, and that's what they would take nips off of. So that's why she calls them these distiller drawers, because they're like their little picks that they stick off to the side.
And just a little side fact on Maggie. I think, if I remember right, she's also another one of these distillers that trained under Hubert Germain Robin, the well-known brandy maker out of California. That's, I think, had a tremendous influence over a lot of just people in craft distilling. You know, they're using that brandy style that she's bringing into making these rums. And
yeah, she has a bigger background. I don't want to expound too much on it in case we do have her on the show, because she has a nice, neat background as well too, that I think a lot of people here would appreciate. So I don't want to give too much away.
She's pretty cool.
Yeah, this is like rum on the. You're taking it out of the barrel on the deck of the ship, and it's been washed over in seawater for the last little while. You know,
I'm getting like a sea salted caramel. A little like almost like an orange zest, but I mean it is dulled down in there. But there's a bright note in the front end, and it's not lemon. Like a brown sugar as the other, and then a nice wood note in her, the prominent ones I'm getting.
Yeah. There's dark brown sugar, there's molasses, but it's all got this vein of Lefroy style smoke and peat and woodiness going through it, brine and sea salt.
Yes.
That comes alive, and like it's like this neat caramel and this little nice swirling of flavors, and then like the second level, like the Lefroy part, like explodes.
I get the dirty dryness that I get from Lefroy. Or it's just, it's just like this dusty, dirty dryness that just then makes you salivate. Man, that's good.
If you've ever had Lefroy 25 year, which is, you know, very soft and rounded from the age, that's the closest thing I've had to what this is. You've got more of that rum impact on this, but it's an amazing spirit, really.
And yes, Emily, it's more like a bitter orange, like almost when you're getting past the zest and a little bit of the rind part. It's kind of what that is.
So, Ben, have you had this with a cigar yet?
Yes, several times.
And
It's absolutely incredible with a cigar.
that's a say. They're tasting it. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh,
And
this would be so good.
barrel strength, this one's coming in at 108.8 proof.
So this is one of the ones like we're talking about. You don't normally get rums that are at this level, and I'm going to say I get the rum flavors, but it's not hitting that rum
No.
level of sugariness that you get.
Right.
It almost has more of like a dry barrel whiskey feel to it.
And it does not drink like 108.8.
Oh no,
No.
in a lovely way.
No, there's
This
no
one was really dangerous.
spice. Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Oh wow. Yeah.
It's neat because the rum spice and like the sea salt and some of the little like what reminds you of Lefroy all kind of come to fruition like at the same moment where it's like, whew, and then that it just sticks around. And I can't. It's a really neat idea to do that because I think this adds some extra C notes to it that really makes you feel like you are drinking on a ship. You guys are right about that. This isn't special.
I'm a fan. Well, I'm a big fan of a whiskey sour with Lefroy. What about this is a whiskey sour, but also for people that like a smoky Coke.
Yes.
That's just where I was gonna go with it, or like a Dr. Pepper and Coke or whatever it is. Like this would be way more fun for me to add. And let's be honest, I had a splash of Coke on top of a rum and Coke. If you're in the tumbler, it's probably about an ounce, maybe two. It's not a lot that you're throwing on top. This pulls that other depth of saltiness. I bet you it makes you eat a whole goddamn bunch of pretzels. Just that the sweet, the salt pulling you around. You might need to eat again.
And I'll go tell you, this stands up to some ice just to have over ice. It will flat out stand up to it for a while. So,
Boy, it's just got that wonderful Lefroy warmth that just. There's just, I mean, it's a different feeling with smoked whiskeys. I mean, Ardbegg's a different feeling. Lefroy is one feeling, but it just has that Lefroy warmth that just comes down. That's just, I like it.
That smoke, it's like the smoke from the Lefroy is just, it's like it's raining molasses goodness through a cloud of Lefroy. I mean, that's what this is like. We can end the show right here, guys. We're done.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah. As Lloyd Christmas says, I like it a lot.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for
good.
the sweetness and almost like the molasses sweetness and a little bit of the sugar sweetness that you get on the front half, the back half I would say is a finished dry whiskey. Like I'm getting more of the sweet stuff on the front end and the back end. I'm getting a lot of the other flavors popping through. All right. Oh, this is why didn't that go on there? I hate this. I was gonna say this is true. If you're gonna mix Coke and sugar cane, the Mexican version helps because it's actually real sugar. Now that makes it, and you can go to any store that has like the Mexican food aisle, and you can find the actual soda. And it is a huge difference from what you're having, and it does help. Now, my problem with some of the rum, and that what I'm enjoying about this so far, is these are all sippable rums. Typically, a lot of times you'll have to have it's planned as a mixer, and then once you start getting the rum and cokes and some of the sweeter things, that's what used to give me like headaches and gives you hangovers and awful shit when you're blending it with stuff. So the neat thing about these so far is they have been actually really nice just sipping rums that if you wanted to make a drink with, you could, but I think they're good enough on their own that you don't have to worry about that.
And you have to watch. There's a lot of rum where they've added sugar.
That's true.
Afterwards to increase the sweetness to it. And probably too, with a lot of cheaper rums, they're taking wider cuts. And you got to know with these craft style rums, they're probably taking more narrow cut, and it's And this is some pot still goodness, I think, coming out of Privateer. I'm pretty sure they're using pot stills on a lot of these.
I believe you are correct.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's finish this one, and let's switch over to the Privateer Yankee Flyer Cask Strength Rum. This one's at 51.6. This one's got a little bit of a beast to her in it.
Yeah. I gotta crack this bottle.
Mm.
I've gone through a couple.
Wow, that last one I just took the last drink of, it has a really nice black and white pepper note in it. And that's what I think I'm getting a lot of some of the barrel note from me. Mm-hmm. What's this in here for? All right. Oh, I got this lovely glass from Ben. That may be out for you guys to purchase sometime soon.
Yeah.
But
Sweet God.
oh, this is the whole. Okay, this is neat because they've each distillery, both of their releases has been a little ways away from each other profile wise.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't been right up on top of each other.
Yes, I haven't had this one in a while. I'd finished my other bottle months ago, and luckily I had a backup. Because again, it's what was it, one of 231 bottles, and they're gone. Single barrel, and it's gone. And wow,
I'm loving the front half of this on the nose. Yeah. It is pears and pineapple. There's a couple. There's some citrus notes in there.
It's heavy fruit. I mean, it's
wow.
It is heavy fruit,
almost scotchy. Almost.
And I'm getting even a little banana bread going on underneath some of that tropical fruit that you're getting on top.
Yeah.
A little walnut even.
I'm impressed by how fruity this is. Like, this is insane.
See if there's any info on this.
I like the banana bread because it does have a little bit of a bakery note, but not a lot on the nose.
Pretty much all we got. It said it's matured for not less than 2 years in New American Oak. 51.6% ABV. It is the cask strength. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Mm-hmm.
I like their plain and simple labeling. It's just really nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it has like an elegant look to it, like someone had hand wrote it from the past. So
yeah,
if you're going to be kind of leaning on that, like that. Oscar brings up a good point before we get too far. How many rum distilleries do you think are releasing at Navy strength? You don't hear much about that term. That is true, but you would be more surprised than not that a lot of craft distillers do have a Navy strength release of rum, and some, I believe gin even has that, but I could be wrong. But I know that the rum ones, there are a lot of craft distillers that have the Navy strength.
Yeah. I know Privateer does because I've seen those.
Yes.
Yep. I mentioned to Oscar in the chat. It's if I walk into the typical shop around here, just standard rum on the shelf, I maybe see one or two Navy strength releases, and that's it. But when you start digging into the craft world with it, yeah, you do see that's more common.
Okay, I'm getting into this one.
Ooh, man. That's like tropical fruit paradise right there.
Tropical fruit, and I'm getting a lot of mint on the sides for me. At least halfway through to the end. That was actually pretty heavy, but wow. The way this is sticking around, and I'm not getting huge barrel note. Is anyone else getting like a heavy, like,
nope.
That is like a hidden flavor behind all of the fruit in this.
It drinks like the Hilton heads at 40%.
Yeah, that's only going to get me in a little bit of trouble, so that's good.
Man, it's like a base of pineapple syrup, and then there's like notes of guava. There's notes of I get the banana in there. I get like some cinnamon and allspice sprinkled in there. I'm even getting almost like a cranberry note coming in here, and it's more in the finish a little bit. But man, it's amazing. I love what they're doing at Privateer.
Of a very, very fruity cocktail with just a lot of fruit in it that somebody makes. That's all you taste is all that fruit, and it's got so much alcohol in it, and it's made to knock you on your ass. like if you're you go to.
Oh, you mean just the old WAP people used to make? Is that?
well, or I mean, like if you go to a beach or something like that, and they're making it ones like that where you're just like, oh, these are great. It's just so like tropical fruity. It's like you're looking at the display with all the freshly cut fruits on there, and you're drinking it out of a pineapple.
Yeah.
Oh,
with the flavors you're getting on this, it's almost as if it's like almost a mixed drink in and of itself.
Yes.
Like if you were to just throw some ice in here, and that's just to cool it down for drink wise. I think a lot of people might think that this was already like a pre-mixed drink.
To me, it would almost seem blasphemous to mix this with anything because the flavors are just so dang good.
Well, I mean, I guess we're looking at it from opposite ways, but kind of the same thing.
Yeah. Can you imagine it's carbonated?
I'd be on the floor, man.
I know. Oh, that would be good times. I do, yeah. I really, really like this rum. I wish this was something they could put out all the time, but
it has a really nice
Privateer
cream.
makes really good rum. Every single thing that I've had of theirs, I really like it. And I'm not a huge rum person. It doesn't feel like rum, doesn't drink like rum, but man, she is just making some fantastic stuff.
Yeah, and the we're a lot of time with the breed. You have the flavors come together in a similar way. When you see that in whiskey, it's happening here, even though it's really high ABV. The flavors are really well melded together that you're getting. I think that's the most exciting part. Is there's a lot going on. It's not a Ferrari whiskey, but there's a lot to pick out of this. And I find this really interesting. Sorry, I'm going to cut you off, but I saw you thinking about something.
I added some drops of water to this, and it's, a lot of times you add water to something, and our experience here, usually it kind of, it's okay. Add water to this, and you get, it does what you want water to do. It changes the experience, and not in a bad way. So I'm getting more of the caramel, more of the sugars. I'm actually getting some oak and barrel notes coming out of it, a little more vanilla with the water added to it, and a little more of a hint of coconut in there.
Even on the nose, it brightens it up, and you get much more of a brighter wood note, almost like a fresh cut wood note.
Yep.
It's not cedar, but it's more like, you were in a wood shop.
It's like a lightly toasted oak.
Yeah.
Not charred, but more of a toasted oak note.
That really nicely comes up with a couple of drops on them.
Okay, I am doing our obligatory blend as we go.
Yep.
But I did do 50-50 of the Hilton Head Solera with this.
Yeah. Mr. Scientist. How did it turn out?
No, this is... It's just straight up diabetes, man.
And that's the only thing with some rums is that they are a lot of times very sweet. So
yeah,
I'm always looking for a different cocktail that might be able to mix like a sour or a salt with the sweet. So I think that's why that the Smoke and Sea one, number 2. I did enjoy that. I thought that was a really nice blend.
Yeah. And
of everything going on.
Just to show you what else they're doing, you guys don't have samples of this yet. This was a recent purchase, but they've got another special finish from them. This is called Nautical Twilight, and it's a Calvados finished.
Oh,
rum, and you can see the color on that compared to
holy
the sea
shit.
smoke, how dark it is, and it's absolutely gorgeous.
That almost has a
It's
cherry.
109. It's 119 proof, and I'll go ahead and tell you, like after about 2 sips, my tongue is already going numb with that stuff, but the flavor is just unreal.
Hey, hold that back up again. That almost looked like a sherried whiskey with that color.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Look at that. Beautiful. All right.
Nice.
4 years and 3 months is the total age on that one.
It's a little bit longer on that one. I was going to say some of the other ones are 2s.
Yeah.
Time wise, I think we're going to have to switch off of our what we really like of the Privateer rum, and let's switch over to the Bacardi Gold that we have here. And we have this because you were playing with this, Mike, weren't you?
Yeah, I use it as a sacrificial lamb for a barrel experiment. Because I wanted to do a rum finish rye that then I was going to make other things with the rye, but I wanted to start off. So this was the sacrificial rum that I put in the barrel. So I sent you the Bacardi Gold and then the Bacardi Gold that had been in the barrel for a month.
Okay, the gold is obviously the light one, and the dark one is just 1 month later, and that's actually a pretty decent shade change for a month.
Yeah.
So,
And what size barrel are you using?
1 liter barrel, and it was springtime with moderate temperatures, not a lot of heat going on. So
Okay.
there wasn't a lot of extraction going around, but it did the job. It definitely what I used it for afterwards. It did a really nice job on the rise.
Yeah, it's a noticeable color change there for a month, like you said, Patrick.
yeah. All right, here, I'm going to... Ooh. Okay, now where this smells like it's fruity, this smells like a fruit cocktail that is in like one of those plastic containers that you have to peel up.
Mm-hmm.
So like you're getting the fruit notes, but you're smelling the plastic. Like you feel like there's this plastic or waxy note kind of coating this one.
Yeah, this is like white grapes and apples and some kind of fruit syrup, and it does have that artificial plastic kind of note to it a little bit. I think you're spot on with that, Patrick.
But like it's like a Dole fruit cup is like almost. This is pretty close to that. And nothing against like the pears and pineapples and other stuff in there, but it's definitely on the brighter side of things.
Oh yeah.
I'm not getting any super dark molasses or caramels or.
Yeah, it's very much an artificially sweetened fruit.
And I'm not getting much barrel or anything on it either whatsoever on this. All right, let's taste this one just because I'm a little nervous. I'm glad we waited on this because if this like coats my tongue, I wouldn't be frustrated.
Wait, are you doing the standard gold first?
Doing the standard, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's cloying, man. It just it's sticking with you.
Yeah,
and it's
It's
artificial.
a little rough.
Yeah, that's got like that artificial sweetener kind of taste going on.
Did
it feels like it's mixed with a lot of neutral grain spirits.
Yeah. The nose is actually has more depth than I think the flavor does.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Standard was. Say it was a good sacrifice.
It feels one dimensional kind of.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. An artificially sweetened pineapple. It's kind of the big note I'm getting on it, and then you get like a little marshmallow. I think that's just like a light sweetness to me. What the fuck's up, man? Go ahead, say it.
No, you're getting extra notes. I'm like, no.
you know what I'm getting? I haven't taken a sip for a while, and the finish, like I said, it's very cloying. It kind of just hangs around. It sticks to your mouth, and I feel like I I'm just like wet cardboard with sugar sprinkled on it. Is the flavor that's hanging around in my mouth, and I'm not liking this at all.
Hey, we've all been there.
Yeah. I feel like I've been chewing on a shoebox. With
I mean, is it double fluted cardboard or is it single flute? Because
this is single. Like I said, I'm chewing on a shoebox with
all right.
with a little sugar added to it.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
This doesn't even taste like a real sugar or even like a fake one. It's just like a really weird. The plastic note comes through on the taste.
Yeah. It was a good donor. It did its job, but what came out definitely way better than what went into it.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm nosing that one right now, and it's like night and day difference.
Yeah.
What that barrel, 1 month in the barrel is done.
And this was a new barrel. It had not had anything else in it. Rum was the first thing that I put in it to season it up.
And this isn't fruit heavy anymore. It's vanilla. You get more of the molasses and the dark sugars coming out.
Yeah.
And the wood is a little more prominent on the nose, but it's a brighter wood. It's not a dark wood. So that's again like more of a toast than a char on it. The plastic note is really dialed down, and it's just like a little bit of lemon at the front.
It's still thin, but it reminds me more of the Havana Club.
Yeah.
Well, it is significantly better than the other one.
Yeah.
Yep.
You're getting about 4 or 5 real flavors out of it. They all kind of pass, I would say, extremely quickly.
Yep.
But you in a month you got rid of some of the plastic note and some of the other things that were going bad and pulled out some other nice notes. It really makes you feel like if that was just a month, if it's only like would it only be 2 or 3 months in a bigger barrel if they did something like that, how that would change the quality of just like the basic gold.
Right.
It's hard to think why you wouldn't do that, but then I guess it is pretty expensive when you start adding up barrels. I'm not in charge. Let's see here. So it's only mildly better. You got. I think you did a decent job with this. I would have been intrigued to see what happened at 2 months or something, or like a pre-seasoned barrel.
Yeah, I'd like to do it again. Start over with a scratch for brand new barrel, and do it again, and just let it go and see what happens. Because I'd really love to get it to. I like to get the proof up, number one, but I'd like to just get more of a finish off of it because it's still a thin finish. Flavor's way better, but it's still the finish is thin.
I could sip this.
Yeah.
The other one, that's going straight into a mix of something. I could sit here and sip this and be all right with that. It's made that big of an improvement for me in just a month.
And what this did to the rise that I did afterwards, that was good.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I remember what it did. It did some beautiful things. So I think we're okay with the rum so far. I think the only one that we did not like was the Bacardi Gold. Oh, sorry, Bacardi, but
Bacardi?
Man, you are clearly, I think, advertising to a different genre of people. I feel like that is
rum people.
Well, I don't just mean rum people. I mean, like, I feel like maybe there's an age bracket where, like, with whiskey, Jack Daniels gets into this, like, age bracket of, like, oh, well, you had it between 18 and 25.
Yeah.
Is where the target audience might be landing more so with fruity fun drinks and stuff like that.
Yeah. Jimmy Buffett fans.
There you go.
65-year-old man wearing sandals.
Oh,
I'm going to clean my palate with this at the end because that was
It's true. And Patrick Cohn's right. Bacardi's coming out with some things that are a little bit better, but they are targeted as a mixer. And when you do that, they do. I guess part of me gets all weird with rum and with vodka at some point when you start getting all the crazy flavorings that you start like kind of adding on. Like vodka's worse, but rum does have some of it where it gets a little too crazy with extra flavors and weird shit you're going for in my mind, especially with what you can get out of it from just a couple of the ones we tried tonight. I don't think there's any need to kind of add extra bullshit flavoring to stuff. So, Ben, you're on mute, dude.
Dang it.
Yeah, you're talking for a while too.
Yeah, I was going.
You're on a roll, man.
Kids start making noise in the background. You just forget. So you sent us a sample a while back, that single cask nation, Angostura, single cask Trinidadian rum,
Yeah.
refilled in the sherry hogshead. So I'm going to finish the evening on that one.
That would be
Wash
good.
the palate
You know
down
what?
because
I
that was
will do that
amazing.
too.
That one was
I'm gonna-
amazing.
I'm going to do that too because that was, yeah.
Well, now you got me looking for it. I don't know where that is. I'll be honest. I think I drank that one because I was pretty high on.
As you should.
That one was really good. I'm going to want to hear what you have to think of that one. We'll let you go on that. I'm going to go to the Zaya that I was talking about as just a nice daily sipper rum.
I had, oh God, this
Whatever it
rolling
is.
fork. If you see it, pick it up.
Was that one of the ones
It
off the
is-
seal box they did?
It is, yeah. It was a seal box. Like they have a normal, and then they have the seal box selection. And then
Yes.
this is 60.5%. This is much more like drinking a bourbon, like way more like drinking a high proof bourbon.
Yeah.
It is. There's an intensity off of it that is. Oh God, it's spicy flavors, vanilla, caramel, everything, all bourbon notes on there. But then there's this extra sweetness that you get out of it that you're like, is that really a bourbon or is that finished?
Right. I just remember. I remember reading the description they had for that one, and it sounded just
It's
ridiculous.
it's worth it. All right, I'm gonna get this poured. I said I'm only gonna have a little bit of rum tonight.
Just a little bit.
I'm only gonna have a little bit.
Yeah. That's single cask nation, man. Okay, so this it's been, what is this?
Yeah.
12 years in a refill sherry
12-year-old
hogshead.
Angostura Trinidadian rum. Yeah,
50.9%.
Sherry's hogshead. Yeah,
You would
aged
think
12 years in a refill sherry hogshead. Distilled December 2006, bottled August 2019.
you would think this
50.9%.
would be like a big sherry bomb of a spirit. 12 years in a sherry hogshead, and it just, even on the nose, it retains so much rum character to it. But then you get all those dark fruit, waxy notes that you get from the sherry. But it's all the molasses, the vanilla, and the sugars from the rum are still there.
Mm-hmm.
Now, does that have like a little bit of a flavor of a dark rum? Because I don't remember it's been a while since I had it, but I killed my sample that I remember that night, so it's not coming back.
There's a little bit of a dark fruit to it,
Okay.
almost
I
like a
remember
stewed, not a plum. Yeah, maybe a plum. But it's yeah.
This is
I haven't
like,
had that in a while either.
I'll compare this. This is like biting into a chocolate truffle. All right, you got that
Yes.
soft core center of all the dark sherry fruit, and then just coated all around it is the sweetness of the rum and all the wonderful rum, wood, and sugar notes that you usually get from a good aged rum. And then in the core is just this gorgeous dark fruit from the sherry, and it's amazing, so good.
These guys, Single Cask Nation, which they've been on here and we've talked about them before.
Yeah.
This is a rum. If you were a whiskey person, this is the rum that you would make, that you would want to have. But yeah, a rum finished in sherry, dear God.
And
And mine is nowhere near the quality yours is. It's a whole different thing. Mine leans itself back towards if you were stepping someone off of Captain, this would be like the next step to what I would call real rum that we've been trying tonight. And Ben was asking, this one is a sherry cask rum. Yes. The one that they're doing from Single Cask Nation is.
Yeah, 12 years in sherry cask.
This one gets right into, I mean, kind of the level of what we've been playing around with the Privateer, and for me with their Calvados finish that they've done, and then the Sea Smoke with the sherry finish on this, or the sherry aging on this one, actually, it's kind of getting up in that level of just amazingness.
Yeah, they're supposed to have some more rums coming out too. So.
Yeah. Which again, I'm sitting here looking at, this is a 12-year-old Trinidadian rum. And then you got Privateer over here with like 2- and 4-year-old rums that to me are on the kind of the same ballpark, same level playing field. Great stuff.
Yeah. I'm definitely not ending it the same way. I'm getting like, I'm getting like cherry cough syrup, lemon, brown, like a dark brown molasses, super overly sugared sweetener. Like I said, the Zay is a step away from having a little Jack in you, but I think it's a decent progression if you're trying to like get people off, you know.
Right. Trying to get them off, Patrick.
if you got a little Jack in you, trying to get some people off.
It was Captain.
Wow.
Well, it's Mr. Morgan. It's not Jack.
Remember, folks, he's from Wisconsin.
What? Hey, we're allowed to drink and do what we want here.
The nose of the blend of everything that I've poured. Oh God.
Okay. God damn it! I didn't do that. All right.
I warned you that it was.
I know. I'm doing it right now. I'm catching up.
Can't have nothing.
You cannot have nice things.
No.
I'm not adding the last one I just poured though. I just feel like that would be kind of shitty to the mix.
Man, this one for me, it's got a nose that's going all over the place.
Oh. Wow.
Oh, I like this.
Sweetness, cigar ash, and then sweetness.
Yeah.
I put both Bacardis in mine too. I put everything in it.
I did. I put both
the
Bacardis in.
The nose is perfectly sweet. The palate starts off perfectly sweet, and then it's just Lafroig ash, and then comes right back. Oh wow!
I still get like a bright wood that's kind of mixed in with the ash.
Oh, I like that a lot.
This is pretty interesting. I like this mix.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I still get a lot of the buttery note from that two Traditions. Got rich butteriness.
Yeah.
If you haven't taken a drink, that is definitely still there. Like that is the buttery note.
Yeah.
Totally still dominates these other things going on. Holy shit.
Yep.
Diabetes all the way.
Yep. You don't need all them toes.
No.
That is good.
Ooh.
I love that ash hit. Holy cow. That is great.
Yeah, that one that was finished in Lafroig really, I think, it had some unique flavors.
Yeah. Remember me, guys? It just jumps right in there. Wow. That's good stuff.
Oh, I've never had the other one, but that sounds exciting. That other sherried one. That sounds pretty sweet. I don't know. This has been pretty interesting. I think we're not going to rule rums out. I think the only thing that for a whiskey person is that you don't get as much barrel character. Like I think if you had some more barrel character in some of these, you might be an easier way to transition people.
Yeah.
I think that's the only thing that's really hugely missing. There's obviously different flavors, but that's the big difference for me.
I think two things. Yeah, in that case, find an older rum, something that's like 20 plus years in age, so you get more barrel character. And if you can, that's the harder part, find something that's a little higher in proof so you get more intensity and you get more of the richness of the flavor in there. Because I think that's a couple things that's hard for people transitioning from whiskeys is so many of the rums are 40, hitting at 40%. And it's almost like sipping water in a way. I remember some of the rums I first went to trying to go back and explore rum. And it was just like, oh, this is just, it almost tastes too watered down for me. But, yeah, those are a couple of them. But when you get more age on it, you get more that depth and you get more richness, you get more character, you get a little bit more complexity in there. And they're easy to find and they're not really that expensive. Again, you can find 20-plus-year-old rums for under $50.
Yeah.
Whereas try to find a 20-something-year-old whiskey for under $50, you're not doing it.
Yeah.
And what I think about some of the rums is like the Yankee Flyers, how tropical and how fruity it was.
Mm-hmm.
And it really wasn't at all like you get stuck into thinking things are going to be spiced rums. And because a lot of them do have some of that hit it to it at some point, but not overly done. Where I think some of the ones where you're getting such these unique flavor profile out of them with all these bright notes and fruits in it really creates something different. And Patrick Cohn was saying, Demon Hunter was asking what they put the rum in a Lafroig barrel. He's saying that Plantation puts them in a Coloman barrel.
That would be nice.
It is depending, and no matter what one would be nice, but there's a couple out there that could really be doing some interesting barrels finishes with Coloman. That would be.
There's a few. I think Mount Gay has which is a Jamaican rum. They have an Isla finished rum as well. Limited production, not easy to find. I've seen it online a few places, but that was the first time I saw an Isla finished rum, and then I came across the Privateer release and immediately jumped on that one, and well worth it.
All right, well, definitely stuff out there worth looking at. Oh, sorry, Mike, go ahead.
No, I just said this has been good stuff. I've been very
pleasant. I don't want to say pleasantly surprised, but a little bit because I may not have been giving rum enough quality props to what can be done in that rum. So I was a little afraid of it.
Well, right. Right. But yeah, these are flavor. It's flavor, not sweetness.
That's true. And I think that's a good point. But we're probably gonna get it off here. So we want everyone to head over to Whiskey Crusaders because Wilderness Trail and Patrick Heiss is over there and they're talking to him. And that is a wonderful craft distillery. We'll be having Pat on in the future, but go listen to him right now and learn about them because we do think craft whiskey is king. And next Monday night, big show, we are dropping all of our craft whiskey nominations, or the winners? Let's say the winners.
The winners
of Best American Craft Rye Whiskey, Best American Single Malt, Best American Bourbon is what we're doing, and then Best Craft Whiskey overall, and our favorite craft distillery of the year, or craft distillery of the year. And there's a lot that goes into that one. That's a uniquely difficult one, and that's going to be really, really, really tough. And believe it or not, the toughest category I've had so far, with the most nominations that I put up for like what I think should be on the list, is fucking rye. It's really, really a weird one where the other ones I have, some of them already hacked out and figured out what's up. Like that's the one where the list is pretty big, and I'm like, I don't know what to do there.
Yeah, so not so rye guy.
Yeah, from the not so rye guy. That's the one that's got a lot of options on there. So stop in next Monday night. That's going to be a ton of fun, and we feel what we're going to be awarding is going to be very validated, and if you can find something in your area from them, it's going to be worth picking up a bottle of it. If you can't, let us know. Maybe there's a distributor or some way that a bottle can get to you. We can help you out with that. So get a hold of us. But stop in definitely next Monday. Going to be kick ass. Oh, I gotta get ready with the outro. I didn't have that up. See, that's what happens when you get rambling.
Yes. And everybody have a good and safe holiday.
Yes.
Yeah. Christmas is coming up. Make sure no reason to drive or go do a bunch of stuff. You might as well hop on a stream like this with a couple friends and spend some time together and really enjoy it. But do it the right way, have a good time. So Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and we will see you guys next Monday.
Cheers.
Cheers, everyone.
Cheers.
Let's get into it. 1, 2, 3.